I was sitting in my English class, bored out of my mind, when the intercom crackled to life.
Attention, student and staff.
The principal's voice came over the speakers.
This is a code red lockdown. Please follow lockdown procedures immediately.
My heart skipped a beat. I had never heard a code red lockdown at my school before. My teacher, Mr. Smith, immediately jumped into action. Everyone, get under your desks, he shouted. We all scrambled to find cover under our desks. I huddled up with my best friend Sarah, and we held on to each other tightly. We waited in silence for what felt like an eternity. The only sound was the muffled chatter of my classmates and the pounding of my heart in my chest. Suddenly, we heard a loud bang. It sounded like it came from the hallway. We all froze, our breath caught in our throats. We heard another bang, and then another. The footsteps were getting closer. I felt Sarah's hand trembling in mine.
What's happening?
She whispered. I shook my head. I didn't know. The footsteps stopped right outside our classroom door. We held our breath. The doorknob started to turn. I squeezed Sarah's hand so hard that my knuckles turned white. The door creaked open. We all screamed. A figure stood in the doorway. It was tall and thin, and it was wearing a black hoodie. Its face was hidden in the shadows. The figure raised its hand and pointed a gun at us.
Don't move.
It said in a deep, raspy voice. We all froze. Our hearts were pounding in our chests.
I said don't move.
The figure shouted. We all nodded.
Good.
The figure said. Now, I want everyone to line up against the wall. We slowly got to our feet and lined up against the wall. The figure walked into the classroom and stood in front of us.
I am not going to hurt you all,
it said.
but I need you to do exactly what I say.
We all nodded again.
Good.
The figure said.
Now, I want all of you to close your eyes.
We all closed our eyes.
And don't open them until I tell you.
The figure said. We waited in silence. A few minutes later, we heard the sound of the classroom door opening and closing. We waited a few more minutes just to be sure. Then we slowly opened our eyes. The figure was gone. We all looked at each other in confusion. What had just happened? Mr. Smith got to his feet and walked over to the door. He looked into the hallway, but the figure was nowhere to be seen. Everyone, stay here, Mr. Smith said. I'm going to go and check the other classrooms. Mr. Smith walked out of the classroom, leaving us alone. We all looked at each other in silence. We were all still in shock. A few minutes later, Mr. Smith returned. The police are on their way, he said. But in the meantime, I need everyone to stay calm. We all nodded. We waited for the police to arrive, but it felt like an eternity. Finally, we heard the sirens of police cars wailing outside. The police officers burst into the classroom and ordered us all to evacuate the building. We filed out of the classroom and into the hallway. We saw police officers everywhere. We were led outside and gathered in the schoolyard. A few minutes later, the principal came out to speak to us. I'm sure you all are wondering what happened today, he said. I'm happy to report that no one was hurt, but we are still investigating the incident. The principal thanked the police officers for their quick response and then dismissed us. We all walked home from school that day in silence. We were all still shaken up by what had happened. I couldn't believe that someone had brought a gun to school. I couldn't believe that we had been held at gunpoint. I was grateful that no one had been hurt, but I was also scared. I knew that things would never be the same at my school again. The police never caught the person who brought the gun to school. They don't know who it was and why they did it. It's been a year since that day, but I still think about it all the time. I still wonder who the suspect was and why they did it. But most of all, I still wonder if they'll come back.